Family for another Open Phone Friday. If you are new to the show, this is our restart our weekends every Friday right here on 95.9 and 1450 WOL. If you didn't get a chance to call in this week or previous weeks, or now is the time to call us. Our telephone number is 800-450-7876. What if there was a topic that you think we should discuss and we didn't? Or you think it's so good and somehow, you think we came up a little short? Well, hit us up. Or if there's something going down in your corner of the world and you think the rest
Planning for
being legal now, we'd love to hear from you. So, free your mind and then reach out to us. Again, our number is toll free, social worldwide. It's 800-450-7876. Now, we kicked off our weekly holistic Dr. Stephen Tate. Dr. Tate acknowledged the recent passing of one of his mentors, Dr. Poole. Dr. Tate discussed some of the major health issues facing our community. Following Dr. Tate, retired professor of critical thinking and African history, Dr. David Horn stepped up. Dr. Horn reviewed the assassination of Haiti's president. Dr. Horn also dismissed the idea of some Trump supporters who believe that Trump will be reinstated sometime this month. On Tuesday, psychologist Dr. Bruce Wright, one of our power talkers, led a discussion on the attack on gymnasts, Simone Biles. Dr. Wright claimed the attacks were unwarranted and also unfair. After Dr. Wright, the founder of the Uhuru Movement and the leader of the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omari Esatella, previewed the upcoming Black is Back conference. Chairman also talked about the recent loss of some of our comrades, like holistic Dr. Paul Banks, Black Agenda creator Glenn Ford, and author and world founder Dr. Renato. On the call, we talked politics with Brother Nava. Following Brother Nava, holistic Dr. Scott Whitaker fielded questions about the COVID-19 virus and the vaccines. On Thursday, we dedicated the entire show to one of our fallen comrades, Dr. Renato Rashidi, and his transition earlier the week. You heard from Professor James Small, dermatologist Tony Browder, attorney Dan Craig, Dr. Calvin Kamene, Dr. Lennon Rosalind Jeffries, and more. Now, if you missed one of the shows, you can get a podcast copy from the station's website, which is WOLDCnews.com. You can also listen to the show live from there as well, or you can download the station's app on your site. It's free. It's available from the App Store. It works on all the Apple and Android devices. Or you can use the tuning app. Or you can use Alexa. Next week, some of our guests include emergency information, Dr. Bob Crowder, financial expert Donald Parker, and sister Shahrazad Ali. So if you're in the DMV, let all your friends know that we get on the way at 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Tell them to keep their radios on FM 95.9 and AM 1450 WOL. Information is power. All right, let's take some calls at 800-450-7876. Let's see, Kim is holding first. Kim, welcome to WOL Radio. Your thoughts?
Greetings. How are you, Carl? I'm so glad that you're able to hear us today.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. The last time we were on the show, we spoke about the fact that we were heading to Tanzania. This summer, in June, we went to Tanzania to take history off the page and to teach what we call the art of possibility. So it was a pleasure, even in the midst of a pandemic, to bring people from across the United States, from Cleveland, Ohio, Baltimore, Maryland, New York City, as well as Texas and Kansas City, over to Arusha, Tanzania, as well as Bagamoyo, the origin of the East African or Swahili coast enslavement trade, to bring them there to acknowledge things like Juneteenth. It was the first time that Juneteenth was ever celebrated on African soil. And so we were able to do that as well as lay the foundation for what began so many years ago under the leadership of Julius Nyerere. A lot of people don't know that during his era, he was trying to institute a year of return, so to speak, just as Ghana did in 2019, so many years ago. And so in October, we will be returning to Tanzania. And this year, they are welcoming us in the city of Bagamoyo for our East African year of return. And so we're excited about that. We're calling this tour Fertile Ground. Fertile ground is because Tanzania is fertile ground for investment, for opportunities for cross-cultural exchange, to take your local business or small business initiatives to an international level, maybe learn about supply chain management. And if you're in the t-shirt manufacturing business, or maybe you're selling an agricultural output, whatever your business may be, we're trying to provide an opportunity for investors in the United States to look for partners in top governmental positions as well as industries, especially in Tanzania. We're trying to create an opportunity for them to plant seeds. And so we're going to be doing that October 11th through the 23rd. And so we always love to come on the show and give updates to your audience because you've done the work. You've built the fellowship that we want to reach out to, African-centered, African-minded people that want to help us do things like pay homage to Renoko Rashidi. I was so impressed with the tribute done yesterday, and as a young woman, you know, I turned 36 this year. I have a long way to go before I can compare myself to the likes of Renoko Rashidi, but in many ways, he was inspirational. When I look at the way he puts history off the page, I read about the stories about my people, and until you travel to these places, it's just another book. It's just another movie. And so now I feel like I'm in a position to curate experiences using art and culture as a way to engage my people in their history, to promote and preserve our identity, especially in the minds of young people. And so, Patour, we lead them with our Teaching Artists Institute and teaching artists around the world, especially the Pan-African world, that are interested in helping us facilitate that art tribe trade. And so we're also going to do that not only in Tanzania, but in South Africa, where you've been before, Carl. And I love to hear you talk about South Africa because you had an opportunity to cover Nelson Mandela. And we are doing our 5th International Conference on Art for Social Transformation this November in South Africa, in Johannesburg. That's going to be November 5th through the 8th, and then we're going to take all of our experts that come and help us facilitate workshops on a tour across the country. And I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because right now South Africa is dealing with a lot of, I'll say, past trauma, and I guess they put Band-Aids on a lot of the transgressions that happened after apartheid, and now it's just kind of bubbling back up. And so art is a tool for healing. And so this year, our conference is going to focus on healing, and some of our keynote speakers are incredible. We have John Swain coming in from the International Center of Human Rights in Greensboro, North Carolina. We have Jennifer Folan. She is leading what we call Turtle Island. Many times when we go as cultural diplomats or cultural emissaries promoting the culture of this country in other places, especially the African market, you never see people that look like you and me, Carl. And you never see the native people that live in this land. And so I'm excited about our conference in Johannesburg this year because we're going to be picking Miss Jennifer Folan to not just represent the United States or the divided states of America, but also to recognize Turtle Island and all of the people, the indigenous people that were on this soil before we arrived. And that's, you know, incredible because it reminds me of Renoko Rashidi and how he illuminated Ivan Van Serta's work by traveling to Mexico and unearthing the Olmecs, taking pictures with them, showing us what that book looks like. They came before Columbus. You read that book, it's an incredible work, and some of us may never have the opportunity to travel to these locations we read about. And Renoko Rashidi, he showed us images so that we could put those works, those incredible books, put pictures to them. And he started with the Nile Valley civilizations and drawing it all the way forward. And so I feel like everything is connecting. I look at what Renoko Rashidi did, and, you know, 67 is not old enough for us to lose elders. But I know one thing. In 67 years, he did more than some of us will do in a lifetime. He saw more places around the world than some of us will ever see. And I hope that if you don't get to travel like Renoko Rashidi did around the world, then maybe just once in your lifetime, you will repatriate to the land of our ancestors. That has to be one of your goals, one of the things on your bucket list. Because our wildest dreams, our ancestors' wildest dreams, is that when we were taken from those shores, whether it be from Bagamoyo in the Swahili coast of Tanzania, or Badagry in Nigeria, or out in Cameroon, you know, they had us in so many ports in Cape Town. 1652. I'm going back to South Africa on Sunday. I'll fly out so that I can make sure our venues are booked and our hotel accommodations are nice and that we're being safe and that, we're being security minded. But when I go, I'm also going to make sure that we incorporate the story, or should I say the lie, of 1652, when the enslavement trade of South Africa took people from Mozambique and from, the Congo, from the interior, out into Brazil and to the Caribbean. And so it's multi-layered, Paul. And I'm always thankful when I'm able to tell this story of the work that we're doing in art for social transformation with the people in your audience, because they're so African-centered and we don't have to preach to the choir. I'm here today to invite people to join us, to say, listen.
Well, hold on right there. Can you jump on a break? We're going to take a break in a moment, but I also want you to talk about how you were received in Tanzania, because there's some feeling in some parts of this country that Africans don't like us, and we know that's not true. And I just wanted you to share your thoughts with us. What happened when you went to Tanzania? How did our brothers and sisters receive you?
Well, I tell you, Carl, we went throughout the country.
So I'll let you respond on the other side. Don't you? Alicia made a trip to Tanzania, and she's going to South Africa later this year. Well, she's going this weekend, actually. So my question to her was, how was she received as an African American by her brothers and sisters in Tanzania? Kim?
Thanks again, Carl. You know, you talk about our reception. Our Summer Learning Institute program was hosted by 3 universities in Tanzania. So Rigobed in the south, many people aren't familiar with the south of Tanzania, but it's in Tukuyu. We're also hosted by University Nelson Mandela in the north, in Arusha, as well as the Bagamoyo College of Arts and Culture in the center of the country outside of Dar es Salaam. And, you know, young people are waking up. The miscommunications that past generations had, you know, the internet is taking that all away. And we don't speak Swahili, but art is a universal language. And our young people, the ones that did hip-hop, like Omari Bey of Boomwork, he was right next to the tribal dancers of Bagamoyo that are promoting and preserving their African identity over in that small city. And it was seamless. So the myth that people promote around our inability to reconnect to the continent or their hesitation to let us back home, I mean, they're lies and they're myths, and only an experience, an in-person experience, can help you demystify that for yourself and your own family lineage. A lot of the stories are from people that left the country and they came here to America, and they're having those conversations with people that have never gone to the continent. And so that's their only source of information. But I'm telling you, when you get on a plane and go for yourself, you'll feel the love, you'll feel the welcome and the reception. Nothing like the trip. See it through your own eyes.
All right. So tell us about these upcoming trips to South Africa, Tanzania.
So the upcoming trip to South Africa will be in November. So in October 11th through the 23rd, we will be returning to Tanzania. But this trip is focused on investors, small business owners that are looking to connect with industry leaders in manufacturing, agriculture, as well as governmental officials for those that are considering repatriation. And that trip will be October 11th through the 23rd. And then in November, we will be in South Africa because we're bringing a gift of goodwill and peace. And we're leaving a contribution to South Africa's symbolic landscape. We are writing history today. That's what Renoko Rashidi reminded me of. And it says that sometimes you don't honor people the way you should until they're deceased. We need to give people their flowers while we can smile. And we say that all the time, but do we do it? And his legacy reminds me of the fact that history is still yet to be written. And so for us, this November, South Africa is having situations for the seeds that were planted beyond apartheid. I said it here, and I'm going to say it again, the lie of 1652. Their story is so similar to ours in this country. And that's why we're bringing Jennifer Poole on of Turtle Island. So that she can talk to them and say, listen, in America, as an indigenous woman, I can relate to somebody coming into your house, taking your language out of the education system, taking your land and leaving you with nothing. And this superficial political leadership that they have, the young people of this generation are tired of it. And now that they're acting out as young people do, it's important for the artist class and experts to contact us, because in the Teaching Arts Institute, art is beyond just the aesthetic. It's not just music or dance or painting. Art is ideas, innovation, design, creativity. And so at our conference in South Africa this November, we're teaching other sectors how to be just as creative as artists are. And we have a mission to bring peace to South Africa, to show them that we are still overcoming in America. We haven't solved our problems yet, but if we burn down the house, we'll all still be in it. Our children are here, our elders are here. We have to fight to protect them. And so I want to make sure that we have experts at the table that can help us tell that story. And it's not too late.
I got a question for you. So hold on a second, Kim. I got a question for you. I'm not sure who this person is with the tweet. It says, please ask the sister, how is she putting these trips off with COVID going on? Is she leaving from the USA? Is she vaccinated?
Right. So first and foremost, I am not vaccinated. I'm not anti-vaccination, but I don't want to take the COVID vaccine for 2 reasons. One, it's not necessary because you can still get COVID even if you get a vaccine. Two, it doesn't keep me from traveling around the world, which I've done at least 4 times this year, from Gambia to Tanzania to South Africa, leaving on this coming Sunday. You don't need it. What you need to do is have a negative COVID test. You need to have a negative COVID test before you leave the country, and you must have a negative COVID test to re-enter the country. And to me, that's just safe at this point.
So what about when you go to Joburg? Do they ask you for a COVID test, or do you have to take one at the airport?
No, you want to take that at least 72 hours before you depart, and not all COVID tests are created equal. So the PCR test is different from the quick swab, the instant test. You need to get a PCR test 72 hours before departure. And I recommend 48 hours, just in case something happens with your flight. Maybe you have a delay, because if you have a delay while you're en route to your destination, your final destination, then you'll have to retake the COVID test in the country that you're commuting through. So I recommend 48 hours. And there are many places, PN Pediatrics, they offer, it's covered by your insurance. And Thai Tours, we can help you navigate that process, because we have a Thai Tour preparation series. The world is changing quickly, and we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse, our ear to the street. And so we can help you navigate that process if you decide to travel with us, and even if you don't, because we are invested in our people returning to the continent.
All right. Kim, how can folks reach you?
Please reach me first and foremost on Facebook. Family, pull out your phone right now. We're trying to increase our social media presence. So please go to facebook.com/teachingartist. Facebook.com. And then, of course, Paul, you already know me. Call me on my cell phone. I don't want this to be a barrier to you not being able to reach me. 443-739-0941. I'm going to say it again, Paul, because people have literally called me directly after the show. And so this is working. I'm excited. 443-739-0941. Please call me if you're interested in going to Tanzania this year, or you want to set up your payment plan for next year. Call me if you're an expert and people need to hear what you have to say, so that we can feature you as one of our speakers at this year's conference in November in South Africa. Don't be afraid. I'm not the cutest girl. I'm not the smartest girl, but I am one of the most courageous, because I'm courageous about my people, promoting and preserving our African identity, and ensuring that we reclaim our global cultural economy. Be brave with me and come to South Africa this November and promote the messages our people need to hear at this time in history.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for sharing that information with us, and hopefully a lot of folks know it. It seems like you've got that Africa bug. That's what happens when you go to Africa a couple of times, folks. Remote Rashidi had it, and 25. Always folks who go to Africa. If you go one time, you're going to go more than once, for sure. You can go there and move permanently, like some folks that I know. But thanks, Kim. Thanks for sharing that with us. 800-450-7876 online.